Hi, my name is Ben Sutter III, and I'm founder and owner of BS3 Radio. I've been podcasting for 5 years, and with BS3 Radio, it has grown to over 46,000 listens and downloads. I've helped hundreds of people to start a podcast by giving them the knowledge, tools, and confidence to be successful. Now I'm here to help you do the same with BS3 Coaching. So let's build a successful podcast. I will be your podcast coach. We'll be able to work one-on-one. I won't be giving you a booklet and just telling you to look over it, but we'll be working one-on-one, side by side, to either help build up a successful podcast or to take your podcast to the next level. So click the link above or below to check out the pricing. I look forward to working with you, and God bless. Welcome everyone to a special edition Late Night with BS3. And tonight we're going to be talking with creatives. So we're going to be talking with, first up, Charles Xavier Sharif, aka Chuck. He's a photographer. He's also a fisherman. He has his own YouTube channel that is strictly on fishing. Also, we'll be talking with Chef Rasheeda. She'll be coming on the show as well. You can see her behind me. Also, we'll be talking with Amarrai Cabell. He's a music artist. And last but not least, Sven Nickerson. He's an actual artist. He's a painter. He also has a company called Seven Art, which does art parties. So I'm really excited about tonight's show. This is Late Night with BS3. We do different types of shows. We do different concepts, and normally it's sports, but we do different things during different shows. So this is something different and outside of the ordinary. Next week, we'll be doing our Super Bowl show. So I'll be having a Bucks fan on as well as a Chiefs fan. And we may talk about, we may have some other people on too. So I'm really excited about that show next week as well. Super Bowl's coming up. Also, we have, a lot of great, things going on. So it's very exciting. Shout out to Team Jackson. He says, hi, thank you for coming through. My background just went out. I don't understand why this happens, but technology, I need to upgrade. But I'm really excited about tonight's show. Super Bowl's coming up. Because we have some great guests, and these guys, when I wanted to do a show talking to creatives, and creatives, is someone that creates, obviously, and these people are extremely creative in what they do in their realm. So we will be bringing them on. Also, we started up a new group of a show. We do movie reviews. We'll be doing a new show on Monday with myself, Ivan Dawkins, A-Trap B, also David Wilkes. And so we'll be reviewing a movie called 40 Years a Prisoner. We'll be reviewing that on Monday. So we are doing different and creative things on BS3 Radio and on this platform that I'm extremely excited about. Also, we got a boxing match on. We have Caleb Truex and Caleb Plant. Both of them are the Caleb brothers with a different last name, obviously. We got Lakers and Celtics on tonight. So we do have some sports. When it's not football, a lot of times things just take a back seat. So, you use that creativity, you talk about different topics. And this is one of the ones I wanted to talk about tonight. Outdoors with Chuck. He will be coming on here in just a minute. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and join in. Give us a comment. Let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. I appreciate all the viewers. Also, this YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you. If you're watching on Twitter. Thank you as well. And we are officially monetized now. So you can support this channel with Super Chat. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, you can support it with Super Chat, and you can help us and support BS3 Radio in that way. We greatly appreciate it in whatever way, shape, or form. And also, I got an interesting story how me and Chuck met. Actually, it was at a Sprouts grocery store. We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we met at a Sprouts grocery store. I'm on this journey of trying to eat healthier, and he was sharing, some tips and some things that you can do to help eat healthier with the vegan lifestyle. So that's, non-dairy, anything regarding animals. So that's something that me and my wife and my whole family are continuing to get better on. So that's kind of how we met, and we've been in contact since that day. It was probably about a year or so ago when we actually met. And he's a great down-to-earth guy, man, and his stepping up his photography game as well. So yeah, definitely great times. So if you can see Chuck, you got to click the link. You got to click the link that I sent you. I'm gonna resend it to you here now. But it's always great when you're able to connect with people and connect with creative people, like yourself, and you're able to see the different things that they do and how creative that they are. And this guy, like I said, he's a photographer and he's a fisherman, and that's how I first, looked him up, was on YouTube, and he has his own channel, Outdoors with Chuck. So you can see that. Excuse me, if you see that there, you can click on him and subscribe and follow. Even if you're not into fishing, still do it. Just support for support. So right now we got the Mavs on tonight too. They're tied 55-55. Phoenix and Dallas are tied up. Also, we have on ABC tonight, we got Lakers and Celtics. It's 68-70. Man, the Lakers, I'm just watching on the floor and having Pau Gasol playing center, having Shooter playing, having LeBron. They just filled up every possible spot that they needed to have. They just filled up every spot, and it's going to be pretty difficult to make anything happen against them. Also, breaking news: the Lions. This is according to Ian Rappaport. The Lions land Jared Goff, who new GM Brad Holmes scouted and knows well, and the Rams land Matthew Stafford, who will be their new starter. So that's a breaking deal. All right, let's bring in Charles, aka Chuck. What's going on, man?
What's up, Ben? Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. No problem. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
So I told a little bit about the story, how we met. We were just at Sprouts on the Owl, and
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was interesting because you guys were really searching and interested in what I had to say, and I knew you guys were serious about the information and eating healthier and really living it. So right. That was really cool. You don't run into people who are really trying to do something about it, So
right.
It was a pleasure meeting you, man. That was cool.
Definitely.
Just in the Sprouts,
Yeah, I know. On the Owl by the chips,
I remember that too. That was cool.
But I wanted to get you on tonight because I know, the show's about creatives and talking to people that create, and you do it in, two ways. Number one, photography, and number two, with your YouTube channel and your content. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to ask you first, were you always into fishing, or was that something that you kind of just got into?
Well, then honestly, I grew up fishing, so I guess
Okay.
you can say I was always into it, but it was a type of fishing to where like, like just fishing for catfish, live bait, you throw the worm in there. It was just really simple. It was really easy. The fishing that I do now, it's still like simple and easy, but there's more of a sport to it, like
Right.
it's lures, you're using a certain technique, you're targeting a certain species, and they change their behaviors and everything like every season and depending on the months and things like that. But it's my passion, Ben. I mean, you see it through my YouTube channel. I love it,
Yep.
man. Like it's just something. It's a way for me to express myself. To really, it's like a big stress reliever for me as well. But mostly, it helps encompass all of my passions. Like nature, the outdoors, life itself, and just really I guess I see photography and videography while I'm out there experiencing what I love doing. Like I'll look at the
Yeah.
sky and I'll be like, man, that sky is special. Or like that sunset's beautiful. Or that
Yeah.
fish is beautiful. Or, the way those people are congregating over there and the way it looks in this certain frame, it just looks really cool. And oh man, I'm
Awesome.
a little passionate about it, but you can probably see it from me expressing myself. But it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's nature, man. And that's what God has created, man.
Yep.
We it's rare that we get opportunity to just look up at the sky and say that's beautiful.
Tell
Because
me about it.
we're on the go. We're always doing something. And that kind of leads into the photography. Were you doing that simultaneous with your YouTube channel, or when did you start to pick that up?
I actually wasn't. It's interesting because photography was something that I guess had an eye for, or other people would tell me like, hey man, you have an eye for this, or that photo's beautiful, or like, man, who took that picture? I took it with my phone. Your phone? Like what what with your phone?
Yeah.
And it was just so much hearing that. I was like, man, let me do something about this passion I have on top of this other passion and actually put some steps towards, bearing some fruit with it, so to speak.
Right.
So
Right.
I got a camera last year. I've only been shooting for maybe like 3 or 4 months, but even with like just a few months under my belt, Ben, and this isn't like a humble brag or anything like that, but I'm seeing some really good feedback from people. They're like, wow, like those photos are amazing. Like, hey man, can you do my wedding? Can you do my engagement shoot? Can you do my,
Wow.
Valentine's Day or my headshots or my graduation? It's just been a really big blessing. Like these things that I love so much. And honestly think these things that I like put off as well, because I
Yeah.
come from the corporate lifestyle, Ben, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
said, a lot of people forget to look up,
Yeah.
like I've done that too much in my life. I've just gone through the day to day, pay this bill, pay that bill, get through the rat race. Maybe I'll move up or whatnot, right? But the
Right.
whole time I was putting off what really made me who I am. My
Right.
my creativeness.
Right.
You know, so it was just pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
Finally putting some attention and some effort towards these things that I feel like make me tick and make me feel like I have a purpose here beyond, on top of my faith, actually.
Right. Right, exactly. Shout out to Courtney Harden. He said, "What's good? Thank you for coming through." Also,
Of
if you
course.
guys got any questions, we take questions on this show. So any questions that you have for Chuck, you can bring those in. And some of the photography that I've seen, man, I didn't know it was just that short amount of time. But the thing is, with people that are, I believe, the people that are creative, like it doesn't take long for them to be able to necessarily, I guess, pick something up that they love doing. And like you said, doing it with your phone and then kind of transitioning to the camera. Was that a big transition, or were you able to pick it up pretty quickly?
I was honestly able to pick it up pretty quickly. It was mostly because of my love for it, before I actually got the camera. But also, it was a lot of research. I would read so many articles, look at YouTube. First of all, congrats on your YouTube. You guys are growing. Like, I'm so happy for you, man. You guys are doing like really well. And it's good to see you guys, put some attention towards people like us, fellow
I appreciate
creatives,
that.
So
Yeah,
appreciate that, bro.
no problem.
But there's a lot. It's more technical than a phone, of course. A phone you
Right,
just point and shoot. You just
right,
point,
right,
boom. Maybe focus it every now and then. But
right.
with the camera, you got to know the ISO, the correct f-stop, the depth of field. There's so much more that goes into it than just, oh, that looks nice. Bloop. Let me just edit it real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, do you enjoy the taking the actual photo and the editing
I do.
aspect of it?
I do.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that, because one thing with my YouTube channel, and the thing I think that gets me the most attention, is the edits. You know, like people be like, "What? Like this is a fishing channel, man? Like what the heck? How do you put this together?" And like for real, like people who don't even like fishing will watch it and they be like, "Man, like your video got me hype," or like, "I don't like fishing, but I was watching it and I just noticed, these different like what's the best way to say it? These different like cinematic cues that you put in it."
Right. Right.
So that makes me feel so loved, man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes me feel like man, someone's noticing like the effort I put into it,
Right.
So when it comes to photography, I love shooting, but I also equally love messing with the photo because I shoot in RAW. So there's so much you can do when you shoot in RAW format,
Right. Exactly.
So, when I'm editing, it doesn't really feel like work. It's just like, man, how can I make this look so, I don't know, creatively pop, so to speak,
Right. I hear you. That's the same thing for me. Like this isn't work, man. This is I love doing this. I love talking to people and kind of picking their brain. Like, what do you do? How did you get into this? And then when somebody hears it, that's encouraging somebody else. I think that's the biggest part of it, so to talk about the YouTube channel, how did that start off? Starting Outdoors with Chuck.
It actually started with, I was fishing so much and I was catching fish and stuff, and it was really fun. And people would ask me all the time on Facebook, like, "Oh, you fish?" Like, I guess they just didn't know that part about me. So with me starting the channel, it was my way of showing others and having them experience what I experienced while I'm fishing. A lot of people, for example, don't really, I guess, fish in like a sporty way. I grew up this way, Ben, so I can't. It's not a knock on them, but it's just worm on the bobber, catfish. All right, we got dinner.
We're done.
Yeah, but there's like a grind to it. There's a grind to using the lure and like casting a certain way. There's a technique to it. So I started the YouTube to really share my outdoor adventures with people who kept asking me questions about my fishing endeavors. They'd be like, "Hey, what time's the best time to go? Like what's the biggest fish you ever caught, or what lure do you use?" Well, I got YouTube. You can watch me do all those things.
Right. I'm showing you.
Yeah, I'm showing you. Come live it with me.
Right, exactly. And that's the biggest thing about YouTube that I've learned, is that they want to go on the journey with you. It's not just like posting videos, which I do that, but also it's a part of like, they want to know who you are, what you do, who do you work with, what do you guys talk about? And that's one thing with YouTube, because I really just started taking it serious probably about a year ago, because I was like, I'm just gonna let my podcast upload to YouTube automatically, and whatever happens. But then I was like, hey, like YouTube is something that you could really tap into, and people are making a living on YouTube alone. Like that's what they do all day, every day. So I'm thinking like, how can I build this brand even further? And then you're right though, when I found your channel and I was like, man, I'm not into fishing at all. But just the way that it was shot, it was like so crisp, and you holding the fish and then you kind of throwing it back in the water. So I did want to ask you, do you take them home, or do you is it like what is that called? Catch and release type
Catch
thing?
and release. Yep. I'm all catch and release. And I think this may have been why our conversation in Sprouts went so in depth, because I'm plant-based as well. So some people might not see, how that goes together. Like, what, you plant-based, but you fish? And like, yeah, man, I just throw them back. And they'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So plant-based, throw the fish back, catch and release. Thanks for that compliment, by the way, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's stuff like that like makes YouTube so special, because like I'm sure with your channel too, like you'll have people watching in like, New Jersey or Germany or California or even here in Dallas, and they'll be like, hey man, like that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciated what you brought to the table with your channel. That music looks cool. I really like relating with you. Like, I've done live videos before as well, and they'd be like, man, that was fun. It was really awesome that you actually care about your subscribers, because some bigger YouTubers, whether they did it when they first started or when they just blew up and got big, it's not really about like the subscribers anymore. Like they have that number. It's pretty much about, oh man, let me just grind and get these views up, you know.
So get these videos out and let me get the views up.
Get these videos out and let me get these views up so I can get that paycheck or get that AdSense, you know, everything like that in the mail, which is cool. But like, don't forget the people that got you there, man.
Right, exactly. Those people are, you know, along the way that have helped you, you know, get to where you are. So we're talking with Charles, aka Chuck. You can see. Let me put this banner down so you can see this Charles Xavier images.
Appreciate it.
Man, the go to his Facebook page because that image you had with the horse, I was like, come on now.
That was fire.
That was like, man, that's an album cover. That's an album cover. You can put that on your wall. That's your screenshot. That's your screensaver.
That was fire, man.
Man,
appreciate it, bro.
What are you planning to do with that? Because I was like, man, that's dope. What's the future for that?
Thank you so much. You know what? That photo opened some really cool doors with shooting with a professional photographer in Dallas this week. And he has a magazine that's coming out in February. So he was like, hey, man, like after we got done shooting, he's like, that's a magazine cover. Like, that's really good. It was just a blessing to see like him like work with me and us to come up with like great work and putting it all together, and him saying like, hey, man, like I know you modeled like 3 years ago. Are you sure you want to stop doing this? And then I just, oh no, man, it just brought that fire back to me. Yeah, it brought the fire back, but it also confused me a little bit. It's like, dang, do I want to be versatile or do I want to do one thing or the other thing? But you know, we're creative folks. We'll figure it out. Who says you can't do it all together? But one thing that I love that he said, Ben, was that he said, hey man, like don't give up. You're a hidden gem. And I was like, man, that's crazy, man. Like that
just kind of lights that fire.
It lights that passion up and it gets you motivated more. You're like, man, you know what? People care about like I guess like my creativity or what I'm trying to do or what I've done before. And it's not just a way of using who I am. It's like appreciating who I am, you know? And I think that's really special about creators, the ones that are genuine. You know, you get to appreciate them together. You know,
right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that's true. That's true. Funny story. One day I was doing a podcast and this guy sent me a message was like, yeah, this guy at my sandwich shop where I work said I should check out your podcast. And I was like, really? Like I didn't even at that point. I was thinking I'm just talking to a mic who's really listening. But then I don't even know who the person was. But like that's how it works. And also, like the word I'm looking for, that's networking. Like I think we sometimes take that for granted. But you talk to one person, that person talks to the other person. That's how opportunities come. That's how you meet people. That's how most of the people that I have on BS3 Radio, I've never met in person. Most of them it's through social media. It's through us doing interviews together, us doing shows together. And that's the greatness of what we do as people that create. Now,
absolutely.
I got to ask you this: which one do you love more?
No, don't do it, bro. Don't do it to me. Oh no.
You can say both. That's fine.
I can.
You can say both.
I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna default to both. Because I might be letting down some of the fishing folks. Well, actually, let's just put all that aside. If it's not about letting down people, which it isn't, if I had to honestly answer that question, my real answer really might be both. I do think that both can be done no matter what age you're at. That's what I love about those two.
That's real right there.
Yeah, I could be 60 years old and still have a fishing YouTube channel or still be fishing. Like I see 60-year-old photographers all the time. Like there's no age gap on it. But man, I'm gonna just default to both, Ben. You can't do that to me. You can't do that.
I'll put you on the spot, but that's okay.
That was a hot seat. That was a hot seat.
But that's true. There's no age limit. Like people that are watching and listening, you're watching this live, you're watching this, via the rewatch. Like it doesn't matter what age you are. You're never too late to start what you want to do, and that passion does not die. That's the thing. Like you could go 40 years and maybe not do it. I didn't figure out podcasting till I was, I don't know, this was like 5 years ago. So I was like 33. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. That doesn't mean that the door is not open because it's there. And there's opportunities. There's people that are waiting for you to do what you're supposed to do.
Speak, man.
So then they can do follow their dreams and follow their vision, you know. So that's just, man, that's just some of the amazing things that I've learned over time. People are like, man, I didn't even know I could do this. I was like, me either.
Speak, man. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, well said, very well said. But the next thing for the folks watching, like, really, I say this from experience, exactly what Ben is saying. You know, there's never, don't put it aside so long where you regret never starting, you know, and you can start at any age. Like you're saying, like me personally, of course I would have loved to been doing this 10 years ago, you know, but you have different things that come up in life. But don't make no excuse, man. Don't, like, I had people that I've started a YouTube channel with 3 years ago, and I've seen them give up. You know, despite telling them this stuff, I've seen them give up. They're like, man, no one's watching. I'm not getting views. My subscriber count isn't going up. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm like, well, you're not in it for the right reason then. You know what I'm saying? It might sound harsh to some people, but when I started, that's real. When I started, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this so other people can see it. Really, I'm going to do it so I can enjoy it first. And whoever enjoys it with me, I would really appreciate if they did. Yeah. You know, it's like
follow with me in the journey.
Exactly. Follow me on the journey. Come with me on these adventures. You know, like talk to me. Let's have a conversation like your podcast goes. But yeah, don't do it just to get rich quick, or, you know, just to look cool to your friends, or have the big number of subs or the big number of views, or to get your viral chance or whatnot. Do it for the passion. Do it for the love of it. Yeah. And like, who cares who's watching?
Right.
You know,
that's true. That's true.
Who
like
cares?
It started off just being sports, and I love that. I would talk about it every day, all day. And then it was like, man, I'm getting tired of sports. I love sports, no doubt. I'm gonna talk about the Super Bowl next week. But like right now, there's nothing going on. So how do you still talk about something without it being about sports? And this is what I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks, but I was like, hey, the playoffs are going on, so I'm gonna talk about that, because that's something that I want to talk about. But how do we tap into each other's like creativity and allow them to share, about what they do? And that's how this came about. So like yourself, you're on, I got a chef coming on, I got an artist coming on, and then a music artist. So it's like different areas, because we all, at some point in our lives, we had some type of passion. And like we've been saying, it's still there. It's just a matter of like, when are you going to do it? So that's, that's what it comes down to, man. But it's great having you on tonight.
Appreciate you.
And I appreciate you for taking time out. I know you're doing some photography doing something for today, but I don't know if you pushed it back. But talk about what you're working on right now.
So what I'm working on right now, I have a wedding coming up in 20 days or so. It's on February the 20th. I'm really excited about that. It's in Austin. I also have some graduation shoots coming out. Today, specifically, we went to Dallas. What's that bridge called? That white bridge with the
Margaret Hunt Hill.
Yeah, Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge. And we had 2 models there, I think 3 photographers. And we were just basically shooting like an urban shoot. So I'm editing that tonight. But you guys, for watching, I appreciate you. I do some really good work. Hit me up if you would like. It's not a like super tense square shoot. We'll have some fun. But man, for the passion of the whole thing, I just want to make this like whole shoot that I did today speak to somebody, but also make, the clients happy, the people who we were shooting of. Right. I want to make them happy as well, because no disrespect, I looked at their Instagram. They haven't had any pictures on the Instagram that look as nice as the ones that I shot today. So if anything, it could be a profile picture of theirs or something like that. But it's always happy seeing other people look at their photos and get happy. Like, I guess it goes back to the passion thing, like it's pretty priceless. Like, you do something, you create something, and you show somebody, and they're like, wow, I never thought I could look that good in the photo. Or like, man, that's awesome. I love how my hair looks right there, or the background, or like, whatever it would be, Ben. But appreciate you asking, man.
Yeah, no problem. And then it opens their eyes to like, wow, I didn't know somebody could do that. Like, that's a great thing. We have a shout out to Alicia Haynes. She says, so great to hear about another person's passion. Nice. Yeah, that's true, man. It's refreshing, and that encourages you. Like, it's hard to somebody like yourself that just in that one day I met you, I see that you're positive, and like it's hard for that positivity, if that's a word, not to rub off on you. It's hard to not let it be magnetic, and then it passes on to the next person.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to say, thank you, Alicia, by the way. But another thing I want to say is like, look at what that passion and like that connection did. You know what I'm saying? Because guys, we didn't meet at Sprouts like last month. Like this was like more than a year ago.
Yeah,
man.
probably more than a year ago. Yeah,
right.
And we've been following each other. We've been talking about we talk about Cowboys things here. I see your photography. So man, that's what connections do. That's what getting to know someone. And it now, obviously in the pandemic, it's more difficult to be able to do that. But man, do it. Meet new
For
people.
Sure.
Like don't stop meeting new people. And you're still doing well. So even during COVID. So, thank God for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank God for that, man. I hope that if anyone's listening to this and you have a passion that you forgot about or that you feel like you want to pick up, I hope that the thought of that doesn't disappear and that you actually like take a step forward. It might be hard to, and I gotta admit, there's some nervousness and some anxiety that comes with doing that making that leap. But if you get out of your comfort zone a little bit, I don't think you'll regret it.
Yeah, no.
Me personally,
you'll be happy.
Yeah, you'll be happy. Like, I mean, I know I'm probably, excuse me if I'm talking in circles, man, but I'm just saying, you guys, like, it's real. Like, I've been putting off photography and the YouTube deal and like just basically experiencing my creativity in a different light. I've been putting that off, and it's quite soul sucking, for lack of a better term. It really is, man. It's really exhausting too. It's like, man, like there's more to me than this. Then why am I not doing anything about it? So
that's so true. We're all, my wife listens to a guy, Les Brown. I don't know if you heard of Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker, but he's like, he said two things. One of them was opportunity is not chasing you down. Opportunity is in the corner waiting on you to go over there and get it. Like that. When I heard that, I was like, wow. And then the other thing he said is like, people are on a job for 40 hours a week, a place that they hate going to, but they don't do anything about it. And it's small steps. We're not telling you to quit your job and do photography. We're telling you to buy the camera, start shooting photography. And as you continue to grow and build, those opportunities and those people will come. But it's a matter of starting. That is it.
Word of the
day. Exactly.
Just start. Yeah, that's so true. Eloquently said, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. But thank you for coming on tonight. Please put your info on the YouTube and Facebook side so people can find it and click on it, follow. Also, I'll share out your information on my page too.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for watching and listening to both of us. Peace, Ben.
All right, no problem. Have a good night.
You too, man.
All right. That's my guy Charles, aka Chuck. He's a photographer. He's also a fisherman. So, like I said tonight, man, we're talking to creatives, those that create. So the next guest I have coming up is Chef Rasheeda. She has a restaurant that's here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I wanted to get someone on that cooks because that's a whole nother level of creativity. So let's bring her on. How you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you. Also in the attire and everything. Looks like you just got done cooking.
No, not at the moment, but I gotta stay ready for the camera.
Definitely. So, great to get you on the show. And like I said, we're talking to creators and creatives tonight. And I wanted to first just allow you to share your passion for cooking. How did you get into it? Was that something that you've always loved?
Wow. So cooking, I tell this, I can't help but tell the truth. I'm very honest, very real. So I started cooking at the age of 7. My grandmother was a live-in back in the day where, there were individuals in families' homes that did the upkeep of the home and cook for the family, help raise the children. My grandmother was that person, but she also had 6 children of her own. And me being one of her group grandchildren, she had five that were around the same age. I was one of number four or five, and she would get us every weekend. And me cooking was my way of connecting with my cousins and my family when, my family divorced because it was my grandmother on my dad's side. But I did it just, because that was our thing on the weekends. And I didn't go into the industry until I was very adult. I've always catered. I've always cooked for people, for my family, holidays, and things like that. But as far as my profession, I didn't graduate until 2014. I went back to college and got my degree, started working in the industry, and having worked it for other people's concepts, decided to open my own
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's Dreamers Cafe, right?
It is Dreamers, yes, Cafe.
And so talk about the name, which I think that's amazing because we all have a dream and then you tie that into what you love to do.
Initially, that wasn't the name of the restaurant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's crazy. So my career has transitioned into many fields. I tell people all the time that um, everyone alive has to eat. So there is food in every culture, in every family, in every line of work. There is always food. It is the most prominent industry existing to man because it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you got to eat to live.
Gotta eat.
And that's true. So um, what happened was I started my project after I came back from Oklahoma. I operated the night crew at a restaurant in Windstar Casino a couple of years back. And when I came back to Dallas, I started working on my own project, and I was looking at a facility on the southern sector of Dallas, and it was the restaurant and my partner and I had came up with Bad and Bougie. That's the concept. That's the DBA, because we're two females, two different walks of life, but we came together as partners to do this concept. But it's one thing that changed me in my career field, and it was my exposure to a group of children who were interested in food service, who needed inspiration, exposure, and the job that I did not go apply for, but I ended up getting, which was my culinary position at Cedar Hill High School.
Uh,
And can't talk about my career without talking about that because those young people changed me. So the one thing that keeps me motivated considering my background. I've always dreamed to be or do something more than what was shown to me. And it was a lot of things in my path have been directed by my dreams. And so the one thing that I wanted all my children to remember, it didn't matter what they learned from the kitchen, was that in spite of where they started, their dreams, their hard work, and their initiative could take them places that life didn't afford them, regardless as to what their background was.
yeah, and
So
it's true.
yeah, so it just kind of came and stuck, and it stuck, and people loved it, so we just ran with it.
Nice. Nice. Now the Chef Duke, where does that come from?
So it's crazy. So Duke is a name given to me by my dad. I am a daddy's little girl. I'm a whole grown woman now, but I was the little girl that, my mother had. My mother's very feminine. She had a hard time connecting with me because I wanted to throw the football. I played basketball. I spit. I played in dirt. I shot guns. I worked on cars. I did everything that little girls weren't supposed to do. And my daddy, when he tells people about me, he's like, shoot, she never did cry like boys, so I just called her Duke. She always wanted to fight. And I'm like, really, Daddy? So it was transitioning in my current life. Um, it was one thing, things mean I'm very sentimental. So, if it means something to me, I hold dear to it. And it was one of the things that he gave me. It stuck. So all my family calls me that. So when I changed, because I've worked in so many different fields and I'm identified with so many different names,
Right.
since this was my own, I did not want to connect it to any parts of my career past.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just added the alias to the
Nice.
market.
Nice. Nice. So what are some of your favorite things to cook? If you can give me a top three.
Ooh. So my signature dish, which technically hasn't been released yet, it is one of my all-time favorites. I may give you a little sneak peek in your audience. I don't know. Let me think, depending on how you do. But I enjoy cooking what pleases my customers. It's funny. One of the opportunities, a part of my career path that I talk about, is the opportunity that was presented to me early on in my career to open a restaurant in Australia, and that group wanted me to do Cajun food.
Mm.
And believe it or not, I have never been to New Orleans. And I have been to a lot of places, but I've never been to New
Yeah,
Orleans.
me either. So surprisingly, so you're not the only one.
So when we started working on that project, they kept trying to take me to New Orleans. And I'm like, I don't really like spicy food. I don't really like, but that was the concept that they wanted. And if you look at my current menu, there are several signature dishes on my menu that are Cajun Creole inspired. I have a lot of customers that patronize me that are from the boot, and they respect what I do to their cuisines, and I respect them for their cuisines. But I enjoy pleasing my customers. We do jambalaya, which is one of our signature dishes. My seafood delight and grits, which is salmon, shrimp, and crab over my creamy American white grits. And but my signature dish is probably my favorite because it means so much to me that I just won't throw it out there on the market until I feel like it's right.
So it's perfect.
So
I hear you. I hear you.
I cook all food though.
Nice, nice. So you said Australia. Talk about some of the places you've traveled. Like where is cooking taking you around the world?
Geez, so cooking around the world is the one thing that I tell people to do before you, especially my young people, before you get stuck in a cuisine that you feel like is your own. Respect others
Mm,
because you never know what you're going to like until you try it. I hear a lot of people tell me, "Well, here's one of the most common. I don't eat grits, but I like yours." Or I don't eat vegetables. That was the biggest complaint that I had from the students. I don't eat vegetables. But then when I taught knife skills and we made egg rolls and it was about 10 different vegetables in that egg roll, they didn't have a problem with the egg roll.
they couldn't tell probably.
Oh, they could tell because they were the ones cutting up the veggies. You teach
Okay.
nice skills based. I teach nice skills with certain products, and once we do the practice on those products, it doesn't fit a mold to be served on a separate dish to be presented and plated as as a side. So we create something else with it, and generally I do egg rolls because it's a crowd pleaser. But and I enjoy making egg rolls too.
Yeah, I hear you.
But so I have um okay, so I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
From Newark. My mom's from Denver. I haven't been to her hometown, but I do go home. I haven't been in a while. I've been to Tennessee, Arkansas, Kansas City, Missouri, um, Georgia, several parts of Georgia, Las Vegas, Pennsylvania, um, Chicago. I just said the other day I was gonna get a map and put thumbtacks in
With all
all
the
the
places
places
you've
I've
been, yeah.
been. Yeah, because within our state, I've been to several places within our state. I have several places that I actually have inspired me to create certain dishes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've traveled a little bit. I think the longest trip that I did like at once was when I was a part of two Camaro clubs, and I took the Camaro Fest tour and went to Bowling Green, Kentucky. I went to Hoptown, Kentucky, Oak Grove, left there, drove to Tennessee, left Tennessee, and I visited Chef Tam. Shout out to Chef Tam Underground's Cafe. She's a doll. Visited with her, met her, got to patronize her facility, left there, went to Arkansas, visited another chef, Chef Matt, Arkansas. Shout out to Fassler. Great group. Left there, went to Hot Springs, came back, went to Austin.
These spots to check out. So hopefully y'all taking notes.
These are, yes, listen, if I tell you it's good, better believe me. Okay. So yeah, I've did a little bit of traveling. I haven't left the country yet. That's my next goal. I want to
Nice.
go to Aruba, Hawaii, Jamaica, Italy. Italy is my dream place, and
Yes,
Thailand.
that's man to be able to eat there. Like that's the place where Italian food obviously was born. So pastas and all the creativity there. Yeah, that's one of those places that I would love to visit. Myself.
I'm not trying to come back for 30 days though. You can't.
Yeah, you can't do that in a
You
week
can't
or a weekend.
appreciate.
Yeah,
No, no, no. Not
you
the
need
wines, the sauces, because it's more than the pasta. Like they still stick to culture, tradition, and farm to table. Like
yeah,
the flavors would be so different. Lemons get this big over where my hand is.
yeah.
This big.
Nice. So who would you say was the person that most inspired you to move in this arena?
To move in this arena or to live my dreams?
To
To
live
live
your dreams. Live your dreams.
my mommy.
Okay.
My mommy is my biggest inspiration. She's my best friend. She is she's like the perfect human. I don't know how and why, but my mommy is the greatest person. She actually followed me to Oklahoma. I think that was the first time she got to see me work to capacity. And she was
See
just
you
the
in
first.
action.
Oh yeah, yeah, to the max because it was way different there. She is also my biggest critic. She's my biggest supporter, but she's also hard on me. And so, because we don't cook the same. And
Oh.
she has had to try to raise me being the way I am about food, even as a kid. And she had a hard time. I tell all the time, child, you did the best you could. It's okay, take a bow. You did your best because I was not easy, especially with food.
Yeah.
So she's an amazing human. She's gorgeous. She's my friend.
Yeah. And most moms are. I mean, like that's the person that pushes you, that says, hey, you can do this, but also here's maybe something you should do differently.
Oh
And
no,
that's
she wasn't that person.
she
No,
wasn't
let
that
me tell you,
nice.
my mama a whole thug. She just like she would tell me all the time because I was so hard. Like I'm telling you, I was bad. Like I'm so anal about my food. Texture and temperature and presentation has always been a big deal to me, even as a child. And there are some things that um hey friend from Newark. Somebody's from Newark. Hey, I got a cousin in Newark that's a chef too. Am I supposed to be commenting to the
That's
comments?
fine. That's fine. Yeah, yeah. I'll bring the comments up so we can read them. He
Okay.
said
Yes.
he was just on the show. He said my wife is from New York and his mom, her mom is her best
Newark.
friend too. That's awesome. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole family's I got family in Newark and South Jersey and uh up though I've been to, of course, Jersey and North Carolina. Okay, anyway. But so I would come home, like I tell people like it would be certain things. My mother's a great cook. Don't get me wrong, she's an amazing cook. But my mother's also OCD with cleaning. So when we get out of school, it's like, go take your bath, do this, do that. And she got this fresh hot food waiting. And I'm mad because I'm thinking, ma'am, my food is getting cold. Like, I don't care about these dishes. I
Right.
don't care about this bed. Like, you gonna serve me cold food?
Right.
So I would turn the oven on 500 bring my stuff back to temperature. She'd be so angry. Like, I just cooked that food. And I'm like, girl, it's cold. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I
Yeah.
can't tell her this, but you cooked that food 30 minutes ago. It is not hot, sis.
Right. I want my stuff hot.
Yes. So
That's
she
how my
would
wife
just,
is. Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with it being warm. She want her stuff hot. I say you want your stuff burnt. I don't want my stuff burnt.
no, not burn it. Like, don't burn it because I'm going to give it back. Like, I don't want it blackened unless that's the intention.
Right.
But she would always say, you want yours smoking out the grill just so you can burn your mouth. Listen, my mouth can handle this 98 degrees.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. So yeah, she was the critic, but it was almost, I mean, could you imagine doing your very best and what you like? And then you have a little ungrateful kid like your best not good enough, so let's try
Oh
again.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't that wasn't the translation, but she's a good cook.
Yeah.
It's just most people are okay with lukewarm. I'm not.
I hear you. All right, so we have Chef Duke on the show. Great to get you on, talking about the passion of cooking. So you create with cooking. So when you're cooking, do you like to teach people while you're doing it, or is it more of what's like your teaching method? I know you said you taught kids.
I did. I taught high school, and you have to keep in mind the high schools are separated by grades now. So going into Cedar Hill, they have a ninth grade campus, and then they have 10th, 11th, and 12th on one campus. So when I went in, my degree is not uh, in education. My degree is in culinary. So we ended up my first year. I ended up getting like 256 students.
Wow.
Right. The program had been developed, and I was the first chef that they hired. And I go in like, what you mean lesson plans? What you mean art meetings? What you mean hall monitoring? I just came to teach these kids how to cook.
Right. I didn't sign up for that.
So definitely not what anybody would potentially take a lesson plan and model, the structure of education out of.
Yeah.
However, the students that I had were amazing. Every last one of them with their differences, they taught me to teach them on a level that they could understand.
Right.
So I had a lot of athletes. I had a lot of boys, young men, and their receptors weren't the same. So when it came to developing programs that they would be interested in, I had to come to a place where I had to understand each one of them were different. And their levels of skills were different. Their passion was different. Some of them didn't have a passion for cooking. They had a passion for eating.
Yeah.
They 300 pounds, athletes.
Right.
They
Right.
came here because they figured this is where the free food was at.
Right. Right.
So when it comes to my style, I'm very hands-on. I don't teach basics because if you're truly passionate about it, there are some steps that you need to do on your own. Take that first initiative, research your passion, you
Yeah.
know. And then when you're in my presence, I will give you 100% of everything that I've learned and what I've had to offer. But I really feel like that in the culinary world and in any trade, you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be. You are your only competition, and I only teach you the guides that got me to where I am. And that's how I teach. Kids, some of the students will ask me, do you think you're better than this chef and that chef? And my response is always the same. I'm in a lane all by myself. I don't compete with other chefs. I
Yeah.
learned that from one of my chef educators. She told us, and she's like one of the tenured chefs at my college where I graduated from, El Centro, Miss Yearwood, amazing woman. But she, in one of the co-op classes, she said, be true to your skill. If you know your knife skills are at a certain level, if it's moderate, be the best moderate. Don't
Yeah.
try to be advanced and go in there and cutting your finger off
Right. Exactly.
if you haven't made it there yet.
Right.
Just do your best in what you're doing and then grow and practice and learn because it comes with repetition.
Right.
So
Right.
that's my motto. That's how I teach.
Yeah, and it takes time. It does take time and practice. And like you said, if it's something that you're truly passionate about, you put the research behind it. You also put that time in. So yeah, that's so true. Now we're both in Texas. So what? And I know you said like you traveled across the country. So who has the best barbecue?
My mama. She'll smoke a dude under the table. We serve good evening. We serve smoked wings, and she is my smoker. We smoke them, and they are amazing, natural. But for my chicken and waffles, I don't do fried chicken at the facility that I was at. But we smoke the wings, and the same thing that you can do at any other wing purveyor, with the different flavors, lemon pepper, barbecue, all that. I do all the sauces. She do all the smoking. Amazing barbecue. I
Mm,
mean, good meat. So you don't even need sauce with it.
nice.
but
That's what it's supposed to
but
be.
but facility wise, if I had to say in the commercial world, ooh, barbecue, ooh, in Texas,
Well, I'm saying since you travel, like Kansas City's got their style,
they
Carolina's got their
do.
style.
You have to understand though. I I'm unorthodox. Okay, people be trying to take my black card. I don't go places just to eat barbecue. Like you
Yeah.
have to come with it for me to pull up
You gotta
with
have
barbecue.
sides too.
I know, like you have
No?
to come with it. Like you really have to like don't just play me with some prepared sausage that you just throw it on there for heat and color. You know what I'm saying? If you over here making some true andouille, you hanging meat and yeah, then you get my attention. But barbecue has changed and it's different across the world.
Yeah, it is.
Um, I have went to a few. I can't. I'm gonna have to just give it to my friend just because he's my friend. I'm gonna go with Smokey John's. Like
Yeah, yeah. Brent,
Brent
funny,
is amazing.
he
Brent
is.
is
He is.
amazing.
I
They're
reached
great
out to
people.
him to come on tonight. He had an engagement, but yeah, man, Brent, I will drive from wherever to go to Smoky John's. Like
When my
that. That's the
listen, when
quality.
my daddy got out, first thing he was like, "I want some barbecue." I said, let me take you." My boy.
Yeah,
He does good barbecue, and he got to meet Brent. He was like, "Oh, you do good. You do good."
yeah.
So yeah, I have to give it to them because they do good food. They're good people, and
Right.
they've been in the game for a long time. And
They
he
have
has definitely boosted me. So yeah, definitely going to Smoky John.
definitely, definitely. So your restaurant, so Dreamers Cafe, where is it located? Where can people find it? Is it dining in or is it takeout?
So Dreamer's first pilot location was at 4417 South Lancaster Road, Suite 2289. As of this week, I'm transitioning. We are working on our Mansfield DeSoto project.
Mm,
So I am moving on up,
nice.
if that's a saying. So right now I'm only servicing because I do everything related to food. I do weddings, we cater, meal prep, um, private events, private chefing. So right now I'm only taking private and my meal prep clients.
Okay.
You can sign up for meal prep. We do vegan, we do keto, we do traditional prep. Also, any of my favorites and bulk purchasing can still be ordered. So we're ordering delivery right now. Once we finish the new project for DeSoto may be before Mansfield.
Okay.
Um, so right now, on the Dreamers page, we can be reached DREAMERZ Cafe or the Real Chef Duke directly, or my Instagram, Dreamers Marketing Eatery, um, Snapchat. It's my name. And what's the other tag? Twitter. I have no idea what my Twitter is. I got one, y'all. I do have one. I don't
Uh,
know what it is though.
that's
That's
all right.
not my expertise.
All right. So with the Super Bowl, this is the last thing I got for you. With the Super Bowl coming up next week, what are some ideas you have for people? Because normally wings, that's like the traditional thing. You get some finger foods, but what are some ideas you have for people?
So listen, I am definitely Italian food is my favorite. Thai is my second favorite. Thai, if it's real Thai people in the back, is my favorite.
I know sometimes it's not, so I hear.
If it's real Thai people and somebody grandmama in the back, I'm okay with that. But here are some great ideas that can be done. I like cultured foods, so my jambalaya is definitely a crowd pleaser. It's easy to do. Once you get it, make it in batches. You can actually make it in some cute little cups, make it martini style. Have it COVID safe in closed cups because that's still a thing. We still have to be conscious of that.
Right.
My loaded mac with our smoked brisket, with our heavenly eggs, and look, we have these cute little cones that go in, the heavenly eggs to die for. Those are great. Bruschettas are great. Those can be vegan, those can be pescatarian. I also do an amazing avocado salsa with tossed with Cajun shrimp,
Nice.
and it's pretty delicious. But crowd play drinks. We make our drinks from scratch. We do fresh berries, limeades. I think those are always great because they add a variety of flavor. And for those that like to spike, you can spike those too.
Yeah.
Get you some fresh fruit, get you some fresh juice and some nectar. Toss it all in there together with some ice and whatever evil is of choice, dash it in there or drink it straight.
Yeah.
You got options.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. It's been a
Absolutely.
joy just being able to hear your passion, hear how you got started, and I believe you inspired someone else. So thank you for
I
coming on.
appreciate that. Thank you for having me. And look, tell your wife and baby I say hi.
I will. I will. My daughter would be here talking to you right now if she didn't go to bed. So
It is late night talking. I
yeah.
really appreciate you. So what I'm gonna do, because you were pretty amazing, I'm gonna fill you in on my signature dish, and I drop it on your page for people to gawk at. You can only
Nice.
gawk at it right now. Once we do the pre-orders and we start the events for Round Deal, because we're gonna do some tasting parties and some auctions, then
Mm,
I would definitely give you an invite so that you can be a part of that tasting session. But one of the things that I do is I actually taught myself to debone wings. I
mm.
take all three bones out, and then I stuff it with jambalaya, and then serve it over a mound of jambalaya with huge, beautiful Cajun shrimp. It's served with our beignets, banana Foster's flambe with cream cheese ice cream, and it starts with our signature salmon egg rolls. That's
Ah,
my favorite dish.
man, you got me hungry right now.
That right there is my
Don't do
favorite
that.
dish.
Don't do that to me.
It's not even on the market, so I'm just gonna give you a little snippet. I don't know. Should I tag you in it or just send it to your DM?
Yeah, you can
You
tag
share.
me in, and then I'll share it.
Okay, I'm gonna DM it to you, and then you do with just because this is a sneak peek.
Okay.
But I'll share it with your audience because you were so great.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for coming on too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Chef Rasheeda, aka Chef Duke. Man, the stuff that she was talking about, man. I want to taste some of that for sure. And I'm definitely going to be coming to that tasting party. And also, I'm going to be doing some, live remotes here once COVID is over. So hopefully that's something that we'll be able to link up and do, because I think that's a good way to bring the audience with me, to these places and to these people I'm talking to. So we're going to keep this train rolling. Like I said, we're talking to creatives, people that create, people that do amazing things in their field and in their lane. And the next guest we have coming up is Amarrai Cabell. He is an artist, and we met a couple of months ago, and I said that I would get him on the show, and I made sure I wanted to do that. Shout out to Camden Williams, also on Man HRAP B. Thank you for coming through. Also, if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat room. But let's bring in Mari. How's it going?
Hey man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah, hey, it's Cabell.
Cabell, excuse me, Cabell.
It's all right.
So
How you
Amarrai
been, man?
Cabell. Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. The album cover, which we'll get to that in a minute, I think is amazing. But talk about how'd you get into music? Has that always been a passion of yours?
Yeah, when I was little, I used to when I lived in Minnesota. Around the block was a library that had CDs, and I would go there just to listen to music. And I discovered I wasn't thinking anything of it, but it was a cover with a bear on it, and I started listening to Kanye. And ever since I started listening to Kanye and like listening to Lil Wayne when I was in my aunt's car in Minnesota, and then I came back um, towards Illinois, and then I was listening. My grandma put me on the Michael Jackson, and I was always like kind of inspired by, you know, those. I was like, that's cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So how would you describe your music? What genre would you say your music is in?
I'm like alternative. I'm like any indie pop, like
Okay.
But I don't like to be held down to one genre, like. But
Yeah.
I'd say I'm like indie pop.
Okay. All right. And I respect that, because I mean, you want to be able to flow into different genres, which I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing music?
Well, I started songwriting in middle school, and then I started making like recording and like my freshman year in high school, and then so it's been some years now.
Yeah, and it's kind of grown from there. So, how many projects do you have out?
I have a mixtape, which is Kids Have Fun, and then an album, which is called Denver. So I have two out now.
Nice. And so, what's the process you go through? Writing songs and getting the instrumental and the music together.
I sit in my room and I produce beats on my computer, and then um, with the quarantine, it's been hard to get inspired to songwrite, but I write all my stuff, and then if I'm not inspired, I watch TV or play video games until I am, and then come back around to it, and listen to older music, like listen to other artists. I like watching Game of Thrones and like older TV shows and stuff too. I like watching older stuff for nostalgia, like stuff I watched when I grew up and stuff. But yeah, I just, I'll sit in my room and sometimes I'll take a break if I can't come up with anything, but I just sit in my room.
Nice. All right. And I know you brought up Michael Jackson. That's one of my favorite artists, man. His creativity and the way he was able to make music. And then when he performed, I mean, if you've seen videos, people passing out and people, they're just so starstruck that it's almost hard for them to handle being around him. And so, yeah, I mean, music is one of my passions that I love listening to it. I don't make it, but I always love to hear how the recording process is and how you make the music. But yeah, with COVID, how has that affected what you're able to do? Are you still able to a certain degree kind of do what you enjoy doing?
Yeah, to a degree, yeah. Like I will send something over to my managers, Cameron and Aline, and then because they like to be updated, I'll send them a private link to listen. And it's hard. It makes it harder to collaborate. But then what I'll do is I'll send artists, something. I'll be like, well, just send this back because I like to collaborate with artists in person. I won't say that much, but like it's made it harder because you can't really go to the studio and stuff like that as much. But I like working from home though, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you're forced, now pretty much to work from home. So I definitely get that. Now with the new single featuring Willow Smith, am I correct?
Yeah, and Elise, yeah.
Nice. I mean, how did that come about?
Yeah, well, I was sitting there. I didn't put her in the background vocals till the last minute. I told Aline that before our meeting I was going to put her on the background vocals, and I really didn't think anything of it, much of it, at the time. But I like how it sounds, like how it came out, and
Nice.
I think that people are going to like the single on Valentine's Day a lot.
Yeah, that's a perfect time to drop a song, especially if it's it. Now, how would you describe the song? Is it a love song? Is it a how would you?
It's kind of hard to describe. It's yeah, I don't know. It's got a good vibe to it though.
Yeah,
It's got a good vibe to it for sure. Yeah, it's not like R&B, but it's got a good vibe to it.
Yeah, and if you, I mean, and that's what a lot of people are looking for. It's a lot. It's depressing times for a lot of people, so they need something to give them that good vibe and that that good feeling. So very nice. Now, what would be the artists, the I guess the artist that you most want to work with, and then maybe a producer that you would most want to work with?
Oh, I like that question. Well, artist I would most want to work with would probably be Frank Ocean, and producer Benny Blanco.
Okay. And man, Frank, I didn't really know a lot about him until I seen him on. He was on Saturday Night Live one time, and
Oh
man,
yeah,
I
that
was like,
was
that's like I
yes.
still go back and watch that video, and that was
Yeah,
probably
me too.
a
Yeah, I
couple
love
years
his
ago.
SNL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was pretty dope.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good artist.
yeah, yeah. He's you see that he puts like the work in, and he has that passion in music. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. So being an artist, what are some of the challenges, so what are the highs and some of the highs and some of the lows that sometimes people may not, see, or the outside looking in?
Um, well, it's a lot of things, and it's tough. I've fallen out with, you know, some people that I've collaborated with just will ghost you, and I feel like a little bit that has to do with the quarantine, and then you'll fall out with friends because your music is doing well, or they just, you know,
Hayden.
but yeah, so it's like it's tough, but you just have to keep going and keep it moving and try to keep good people around you for sure.
Yeah. And then that's a lot of times you watch, people watch any type of music show or documentary. It's always like the people that you have around you, because some people may just be like, yes, man, just to tell you yes, but you need those people that can give you that, constructive criticism. But there's a borderline, between constructive criticism and just plain hating. So that's, I know some things that you got to consider, and it's definitely in the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the single coming out on Valentine's Day, is there plans for an EP or an album kind of coming up after that?
Yes, there is. Yes. Yes,
Nice.
there is. Yes. Me and Aline have talked about it a lot, and it's been delayed multiple times because of the pandemic. But I've been in the studio working on it a lot and working with. I like the artists that I'm working with on this album, and then so it's been coming together nicely. I can't wait for people to hear it. But we don't have a certain release date right now. But after Male Privilege comes out, everything should be better then.
Nice. Nice. I'm looking forward to that. So what would you say to, an artist coming up or somebody that's young and they're wanting to get into this industry, or they want to make music? What are some tips that you could give them or encourage them with?
Have thick skin. Treat everyone well, because you don't know. The same people you could be mean to. You never know who has connections. It's a small industry, and you could see those people on the way down. And really, just network. Just always be willing to network and just always just be unlucky. Just work hard and just try to stay humble, and you should do well.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you, I guess when COVID's over or before COVID, were you performing? Is that a part of what, you do? Do you perform at different areas and places?
I hadn't performed yet, but we were working on a tour, and then we had to cancel.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of tough because we don't know what's going on with venues, and yeah, we still don't know the situation with that. Everything. Well, I've performed at a couple of radio stations as of right now, but right now I don't know the situation with tours, so I can't promise anything with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's in, if you got an iPhone, what's in your Apple Music right now? What are you listening to that that you love listening to at this current time?
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now. I have been listening. This morning I listened to Midnight Sisters' Painting the Roses album that came out today. It came out yesterday, I mean, my bad. And then I've been listening to Frank Ocean, and then RX Poppy, he's a smaller artist. And then listen to some Little Baby, Glob's new single. I listen to a lot of underground stuff.
Yeah.
I listened to Sis 99's new album, Amir Van's new single. Slow Tie has a new song with ASAP Rocky that came out few weeks ago called Maza. And then, but yeah, pretty much just. Also, Zayn's new album is incredible.
Nice. Yeah, and Apple Music, man, I think that's one of the best platforms because obviously you pay a limited amount of money and you can listen to whatever you want, put it in your playlist. And I found plenty of artists that I didn't even know existed just by pulling it up. There was one I can't remember. I think it was called Village. It's called something Village. I have to look it up and see. But it's kind of like a Fugees vibe. I don't know if you heard of the Fugees, but
I like the Fugees.
It's they're. I'm gonna have to look it up and I'll let everybody know. But it's a group where it's a female and two guys. So the two guys are obviously kind of the rappers, but the female does the vocals, the singing, but also she can rap too. And when I found that, I was like, man, this is like a hidden gem. I didn't even know it existed. And I think that's the great thing about music, man. It doesn't have to be the big guy or the big artist. It could be the underground cats because they could be putting out just as good music as everybody else.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I listen to a lot of small artists that are just as good as big artists every day. Yeah, and discover them. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you for coming on tonight.
No problem.
Anything else you want to share with the listeners before you
go? Is there? I just hope everyone's well. Everyone's taking care of their mental health, and I hope everyone's good at home. Listening.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, like the mental health. I think a lot of times we overlook it. We don't think it's, man, I'll be fine or I'm okay. But a lot of times we overlook that and we just allow that to go to the wayside, and that's not fair to ourselves. So that's a great point you brought up.
Yep.
All right.
And
so
who you got in Super Bowl?
Oh, nice. Oh yeah. Let's do a little sports talk before you go. Yeah. I gotta go with the Chiefs, man.
It's gonna be a close. I can never root against Brady. I just can't go against him. So I don't bet against Tom Brady. That's one thing I'm never gonna do.
Yeah. I got into a little back and forth with a guy, and I was like, man, Tom threw 3 picks in that championship game, or maybe it was the game before. But yeah, you're right. Now Mahomes is the young. I don't know if you've seen this image, but it was like a goat standing next to a baby goat, and that's what Mahomes is. He's on the cusp of becoming, or he's already great, but he's on the cusp of reaching Tom Brady type status if he can take down the Bucs.
Yeah, for sure. It's like just before I caught on. I started watching this at 9, and just before that, Stafford got traded to the Rams. I thought that was interesting.
So did they swap? Because I haven't. I'm trying to look at it.
I believe it was 2 firsts and Jared Goff.
2 firsts and Jared Goff?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a little, maybe a little high. But Stafford wanted to get out of there, so I knew they were going to do. So I knew they were going to do something. I didn't know what exactly they were going to do, but honestly, neither one of them are. I don't think neither one of them are going to win the Super Bowl with them. So I mean, like, I get it. You got to make a deal, but
yeah. I like Stafford though. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. So what's your NFL team? What's your teams? Period. NFL.
I mean, you might not like the answer, but I'm a Patriots fan. Sadly.
Were you always a Patriots fan?
Yeah. Sad. I mean, yeah, I just like the Patriots growing up. I was just always like, I don't know why my family hates them so much. I think they're a decent team, and
And now having Tom, they're in a whole new level now. I mean, like they're used to just having Tom Brady, and now you got Cam. It sounds like Cam's not going to be there.
Yeah.
To next year. So who do you think they're going to draft somebody or get a free agent?
I don't think we're going to land like Watson or anything. I know because I think that Mac Jones would be the best fit for the Patriots.
I've heard that, and I think so too. He's experienced. You know, he's a senior, so you know he's been there at Alabama for a while. He could probably come in and manage, you know, the system, not make mistakes, and obviously he can make the throws. In that national championship game, the amount of times he was throwing it downfield, you know, you got to give him his props there.
Yep.
So what about NBA and baseball?
Celtics, and I like the Cardinals and baseball. Just kind of keep it on.
All right, so you're Boston, you know, almost.
Yeah. Most of my teams are all Boston. Yeah, I like the Bruins in hockey.
Yeah, and the Celtics they should do something this year, but I don't know. This East, especially with the Nets, may be a little interesting.
We just lost to the Lakers before I got on here, so that was a bit rough.
Yeah. All right, so let everyone know where they can find the music, a website.
Yes. You just look up AmarraiCabell.com, and then r/Amarrai Cabell is my subreddit, and my SoundCloud is my name. Pretty much everything. Just Google my name. Like just search Amarrai Cabell in the search engine on streaming services.
Okay,
for sure.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna put the website in the chat room so people can click on that, have access to it. It's got the countdown for male privilege, once again featuring Willow Smith. I think that's dope. So I'm looking forward to that. 14 days counting down.
Thanks.
So yeah, man. Thank you for being patient. I know we were going to do this a couple of weeks ago, but glad we were able to make it happen.
Yes, me too. Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right.
Anytime,
all right.
man.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too, man. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. That was Amarrai Cabell. Like I said, we were going to coordinate this a couple of weeks ago. Didn't happen, but glad we were able to make it happen tonight. Thank you all those for tuning in. Cameron Hoskins, thank you for coming through. Let me know where you guys are listening from. Also, you can support this YouTube channel with the link down below. We got Super Chat. You can donate whatever dollar amount to help support us. Also, this channel is monetized now, and make sure to subscribe and click that bell. Make sure you do that because we got content coming out every day. To some degree, we got funny videos. We also have sports videos, highlights. We also talk about music. We're also doing movies. So on Monday, we'll be doing a review of a movie called 40 Years a Prisoner. And we'll be reviewing that on Monday night. It'll be at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, right here on this same channel. And yes, I am a sports fan, if you didn't know that already. And yeah, the trade has gone down. Lions trade Stafford to the Rams for Jared Goff. So let's pull it up so we can get to the exact breakdown. The Lions will receive a third-round pick in 2021, a first-round pick in 2022, and a first-round pick in 2023 in exchange for the former number one pick overall in Jared Goff. Is that a lot? I would say yes. I would say that is a lot, honestly, because like I said, neither one of those quarterbacks I don't think is going to win you a Super Bowl. There's no guarantees. But what the Lions received, not only did they get Jared Goff, but they also got a plethora of picks. And you honestly, you can choose how you want that pick to work. You can choose who you want to pick. That is the benefit of having draft picks, is that you get to choose what you want that to be. It's not a player that you maybe don't want. So currently right now, like Amarrai said, we have a couple of basketball games on. Let me go to the list here. The Suns are up 105-100. Looks like the Mavs are about to lose again. I'm in Dallas. I'm a Mavs fan. not going well. They're 8-11. I was expecting better. It's early in the season. I get it, but I was expecting better. Celtics win 96-95. Heat win over the Kings 105-104. Rockets 126-112 over the Pelicans. Hornets beat the Bucks. Trailblazers beat the Bulls. And the Grizzlies beat the Spurs. And we will have another guest coming up in about 8 minutes, Sven Nickerson. He is an artist. He's a painter. He also does something called Seven Art, which is a paint, kind of like a paint and sip type thing here in Dallas, Fort Worth area in Texas. So he will be coming on in about 7 minutes. I am excited to talk to him. We're talking to creatives tonight, which is a show that I've been wanting to do. So while we have time, I want to talk about the shows from this week on BS3 Radio. So BS3 Radio, we're not only a YouTube channel, but we are also a podcast station. So what we do, and you can see the website down below. Visit the website, bs3radio.com. But we have a variety of shows. So sports, music, life, comedy. You know, honestly, we do some of everything. So a couple of shows from this week. We had a Black History show with my guys, the Ear Hustling Podcast. We also have a new show called Unscripted. Unscripted is a panel show with Logan Landers, Jay McLovin, I love that name, Big Shaw, and Melanie. They talk about different topics in sports. They talked about remembering the Mamba this week. Also, Will Walker, Will's Take on Sports. He has a show. If you go to bs3radio.com, you can check out all of the shows. He did a show called A Red Party in Tampa, obviously with the Chiefs and the Bucks playing. Also, we have a show called Cats Talk Wednesdays. They talk about Kentucky sports. Also, they talk about other topics, and they reflected on Hank Aaron and Kobe this week. Then my guy Al High, host of the Casual Highlight, also highlights sports. He interviewed O.C. Anderson. He's an e-sports coach. He's been on the show before, so he'll be coming on. And then also we had Courtney Harden. He did a Super Bowl show, The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. And last but not least, earlier today, my parents, they're doing a podcast as well. It's called The Suds Are Us Podcast. Talk about the circle of love, marriage, love, relationships, marriage, and family. And they had a show earlier today. So let's bring in Sven Nickerson. Glad to get him on the show, man. He does an amazing job at what he does. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Ben? How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good to see you, man.
Hey, it's good to see you as well. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, it has. And I was doing a show tonight, like I told you, on creators, and I know what you do. I think is really amazing. So you were one of the people that I wanted to reach out and to come on. And so talk about, first off, like your passion for art. Is that something that you always had, or is it something you picked up later on in life?
Yeah, man. It's been something since I was about 2 or 3 years old. Man, I was just drawing and just doodling, and just all of that, man. When I was young, and then I got probably about 6 years old, and I started drawing Ninja Turtles and stuff, man. That was one of my favorite things to draw, man. Ninja Turtles, and then like Pokemon, all of that stuff, man. So I started with cartoon characters, and it's been something I've been doing my whole life. But when I was 18, I was on varsity playing basketball. After our season, I didn't get a scholarship. So with me not having a scholarship, going to college or whatever, man, I was really depressed. So I stopped drawing. I stopped painting for 7 years, man.
Wow.
So the name of my company is called 7 Art Mobile Paint Parties. So the 7 is like a testimony to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I went 7 years with that, but like at the same time, like 7 years is like completion.
Right. Number of completion, right?
Yeah. So I was just like, man, it's like a powerful number. And also a lot of people call me 7 too because they don't know how to pronounce my name.
Right,
So I
right.
was just like, hey, it's all good, man. So I named it 7 Mobile Paint Parties, man.
Yeah. And kind of let's rewind back. We met, man, probably
like 2015.
2015, so probably about 6 years ago. We met at church, and you guys had Faith Walker's Charities. And actually, funny, D'Anthony's been on the show a few times lately.
Oh
yeah. So
what's up, man?
Yeah, so man, that's how we met, and then as we kind of got to know each other more, I know that you were into art, and with the 7 Art, and so as that's in the DFW area, right?
It is, yes. DFW areas and like the surrounding areas as well.
Nice. All right. So talk about the concept of 7 Art. What do you do and how you do it?
Yeah, so 7 Art Mobile Paint Parties, man. We basically have in-person paint parties, and we also have like paint kits. So a paint party basically is I'm an artist, and basically we'll give like step-by-step instructions how to paint. So if you want to if you have like a design or something that you would like to paint, then you could choose that design, and then we'll show you how to paint it, or we could show you how to do it like a paint from a blank canvas as well. So we do them both. And then we also have paint kits too, where like you can customize your paint kit. You say, hey, we want to draw LeBron or something. We want to paint LeBron, and I can draw them up for you, and then I can, and I can go ahead and ship out that kit along with the paints and everything like that too. So, yeah, man,
Nice.
it's been a blessing, man. During COVID, like when COVID first started, it kind of took a toll on my business because I had a lot of like clients and stuff lined up, and as soon as that happened, everything just kind of like postponed. And so like till like the summertime, I implemented virtual paint parties and also paint kits too, man. So it's really been doing great, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And yeah, everything's virtual. So I mean, like that's what I appreciate about creators is that they adapt. Like if something happens, you got to be able to adapt and figure out, well, how can I bring this to the people? And that's definitely a creative way that you have been able to do that. So I put the website 7art.party, also 7 Art Mobile Paint Parties. You guys can check that out. And I think you do a really good job at what you do. And that's why we're talking about, creators and how they create. Now, when it comes to having all of the canvases, because I've seen you've had, everybody has the same thing. So are you drawing that on all of them and then you kind of set it up for them?
Yeah, I draw it on the canvases for them. That's if they want that type of paint party. We have another paint party option where we could just paint from a blank canvas as well. Yeah. So a lot of like we do resident events, so like apartment complexes and stuff. They normally have like resident events every month. So we do those. We do retirement homes. We do after school programs. We do it all, man. Like any kind of event, Yeah. So it's really cool, man, because everybody can paint, and a lot of people like to do it, some people might think that might not be artistic and stuff, and I'm just like, hey, man, they're like, oh, I haven't painted in years or since grade school and all of that, but I'm just like, hey, man, you'd be surprised at how talented you are if you just give yourself just a little patience, patience, get the music going right, get the vibes right. You can if people drink wine or something like that, or if they have a beverage of choice, they could drink that and just just vibe out. So it's really cool, man. It's really a vibe. We plan on doing some open events too, like to the community events where people can come in and we'll sell tickets for the event. So that's going to be coming soon, and a lot of great things, man. So if people want to know what's going on, they can definitely subscribe on our website. They'll be the first to know everything what's going to be going on and new updates, and it's a lot of great things, man. I'm really
a lot of great things coming. Yeah. I'm extremely happy for you.
Yeah.
Now, when you're so you do your own paintings as well, right? So you create art of your own too, right?
I do, yeah. I don't do it often. I've been so busy within the business.
Right.
But on my spare time, sometimes I paint. And when I've been at the paint parties lately, I've been painting me a picture as well, like a full picture. Because normally I get caught up into helping others, or guiding others and stuff like that,
Right.
to help them finish their painting. I normally don't finish mine, so I've started finishing my paintings at the end. They're like, man, that's amazing. Like, how did you do that? So I'm doing it upside down, and as I'm painting them so they can see it.
Right.
It's just really cool, man. So yeah, it's if anybody ever wants to know how the paint parties go, then you definitely check the reviews out on Google. Man, people are really like just sharing love and just sharing how their experience was with 7 Art.
Yeah. Very nice. Right. So with your creativity, what gets you, what helps you in the creative process, in setting up, either an event or something that you paint? Where do you get your inspiration from?
Man, my inspiration comes from really just knowing how like things are gonna feel like once I do that once I just allow myself to get creative and just allow myself to just know that, hey, I can just do any of this, anything, instead of like just putting limits on myself.
Right.
Because like sometimes we'll get so caught up of like having so many different tasks to do throughout the day that like something can be lacking.
Right.
And one thing for me is like, not saying that I was doing everything perfect, but it was just like, man, what kept me motivated, what kept me going was just like, man, I got this. I just kept motivating myself, man. Like,
Right.
I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not hard, man. I'm seeing other companies and stuff and getting motivation from them. I'm listening to motivational speeches and just all kind of different things, and just getting into that just mode where it's just like I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody say. So yeah. That's just how it was, man.
Yeah, and that's true, man. If you have a dream and a passion. I was talking about this earlier with our first guest, Charles. It's like, man, if you have that dream or passion, it's up to you to just start. Like that's a lot of what I say is like, start. If you want to do a podcast, start it. Like, it doesn't matter where it is. Like, I say jokingly, I started mine in a closet, on the floor with a laptop. I didn't even have a mic. So I'm like, if I can start from there and now here, which, and still, like, it's not you, and you're never going to make it. You're never going to be like, oh, I finally made it. I can breathe. Like, there's different things, steps, along the way.
That's true.
So kind of what was your starting point for 7 Art? What was the thing that?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Man, say when you for any I'll say this, for any entrepreneur out there right now, anybody that's thinking about starting their own business, man, you can do it. Just go ahead and do it. Don't worry about trying to get things all lined up and just trying to make sure that everything is perfect before going. Like, you'll never go. So like, you definitely got to jump out there and then just start figuring things out. So like for me, before I started doing paint parties, I was doing like after school programs. I was like a after school teacher doing art. And so I was coming up with all these different curriculums and all kind of stuff like to do after school art projects with the children. And so I was like, man, this is pretty cool, man. And then one of my friends, she said, hey, this guy has a paint party company. Would you want to go ahead and work with him? I was like, yeah, definitely. I went on and worked with him for like a couple months. The guy was really nice, man. His name is Derek. And Derek was like, hey, man, if you want, you can go ahead and just you can go on and get your own paint party company started, man. I was like, hey, that's what I was already going to do anyway, man. I was like, this is dope, and I had a lot of ideas, to like give him, but he was like, hey, man, use that for your own company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing, man. And I just appreciate him, for giving me the game. So from that point, man, I'm like, okay, I got a business. I don't have no clients, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, so how am I gonna make this thing work? So I went and registered, got my DBA, had my name and everything. So what made it easy for me to do this in the process, because we went through the whole process with the nonprofit. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I was like, okay, well, it's that easy to get a nonprofit. It's that same easy. It's the same way, to go ahead and do that to get a business,
Right.
So when I got 7 Art, man, I went and I said, you know what, for Christmas this year, for my family, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a paint party. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So
That was smart.
yeah, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So what I did, man, if people listening right now, man, take notes, man. I'm just gonna be real with you. This is what I did. I had just I said, you know what, this is my marketing plan for this. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get my family together. And when they get together, I'm gonna take pictures of them doing the paint party. It's gonna look like it's probably from like 7, 8 different paint parties. You know what I'm saying? From different
Right.
angles, how I'm
Angles,
taking
yep.
the pictures and stuff. It's one paint party that we're doing right now with my family. So it's like on my website. I found, well, not my website, but on my when I started posting on online and stuff, and like marketing on Facebook and all of that stuff,
Social
man.
media. Yeah.
I was just showing those pictures, so I was just using what I had. So you got to use what you got, man, to get what you want. Like, that old Players Club.
Players Club, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to like adjust, adapt, but also just do it with what you have. Like if you just have a phone, like use that phone. Use that phone for pictures. Use that phone for whatever. Like I use my phone for almost everything. Like you don't have to have a computer. You don't really have to have a laptop. All those things are you would need to get those things eventually. But to start off, man, and that's great to hear. I remember you saying you were working with, we did the prayer call. That was like a few years back, man. You were working with the guy and he was kind of showing you, and that's another thing too, man. If you have someone that's willing to help you, like take that, man, take those nuggets, take that wisdom and knowledge, because that stuff you'll be able to use, in the future. I mean, you'll be able to use with your company.
That's true, man.
Yeah. So when was the 7 Art? When would it officially? When was the year or date when it officially started?
Man, it was June. Well, it was July. It was July 2016.
Nice.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah,
Man. So I know you talked about some of the things of what you're planning to do, but what's like some like 5, maybe couple years down the line type goals that things you want to do in the future that you didn't mention already?
Man, with 7 Art, man, I want to make it a multi-million-dollar company, man. I'm going to make that's my goal, man. With that, and also like franchise it out, and man, start a new venture. I have some other ideas as far as like some things that I want to do. I just don't know which one I'm going to do next, that I want to do next. I just want to first put all my focus and my energy and attention, everything on 7Art right now.
Yeah.
And, let this thing take off, and it's just on autopilot, and then I can go on to do the next thing,
Right. All right. So what has been your favorite event, or party that you've done, over these past 5 years?
Man, this
or give me a couple if you can't
wow,
give me one.
So I'll say this. I had one probably about I would say like probably about 2 months ago. This lady, her mother had cancer, and she just got finished having chemo and all of this stuff. So with that, I think she had some other issues too that was going on with her, but she didn't have COVID. It was just some other issues. She just wasn't trying to get out in public and do anything like that.
Right.
And so she was just like, man, I want to, I kind of want to, do something with the family, but we can't even really get out the house. So they reached out to me and they was like, hey, can you do a paint party for us? So I was like, yeah, definitely. So went out there, we did a paint party for them. Man, I'm talking about at the end, man, these people like crying and all kind of like just
wow.
tears of joy. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, man, like I appreciate you for coming out here and allow us to be able to make this new memory. You know what I'm saying? So, stuff like that, man, that keeps me going, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when I hear different stories, like how like we're actually impacting these people's lives when we come and paint with them. You just never know what somebody might be going through, you know.
Right.
And as we're doing that, you know, like people are able to open up, man, because with art, man, it's like it's a lot of psychology with it, but it's like with art, like you're using both sides of your brain, you know. So or anytime you're doing anything that's creative, you know. And so with that, it released that dopamine in your mind, you know, it released the dopamine, and then you're having like happy emotions and stuff. So it's just, man, it's just awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? So like any creative that's out there, I'm pretty sure they know exactly, you know, like what it is. It's kind of like, you know, you get in your zone, and it's kind of like just like if you're playing basketball, like you playing football, you get in your zone, or if you playing, you know, 2K or whatever it is, you know, you get in your zone when you're on the game or something. Like, hey, that's just what it is, man. So it's just I would just say, man, just continue to keep grinding. Just whatever it is that you want to do, like you can do it. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Like you got to believe in yourself first, you know.
That's true.
And if you don't believe in yourself, how can you have somebody else to believe in? You know what I'm saying? So you got to be your biggest cheerleader. And you know, that's what I always like tell people. Like, man, you got to be your biggest cheerleader. Like, if you ain't got nobody on the bench right now clapping for you, you know, you got to be clapping for yourself.
You got to clap for yourself. Pat yourself on the back.
Man, you know, and count every small success, like every little thing that happens good, like count it, you know, because sometimes we be looking like, you know, we be trying to throw the Hail Mary, man, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like trying to just get the first down real quick, you know, it's 3-2 right now, you know, it's 3rd and 2, and it's like we just need 2 yards to get a first down, man. Like,
we trying to get the touchdown though. Right. We trying to get a touchdown from the 50, and we just need the 2 yards. Yeah. That's real, man. Because you got to count those wins. Me and my wife talk about that all the time. We, you know, sometimes we praying like, Lord, we just need a little win, because that builds momentum. Like you get that one win, and you're like, oh man, this is something that I did. Now you're like, man, let's step it up. And then like momentum is not just a thing that's in sports. I think it's in life. Like the little things, as you start to build that momentum, like you start to see where you're going. And I think the Lord works in that momentum too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes. So so throughout your time, who's been your biggest motivation, you know, during these past 6 years?
Man, I would say my friend Anita Mays, man, she's an artist out here. Sanaa Brown, she's another artist out here, and Derek, man, those 3 artists, they inspired me so much, man, to be the artist that I am, and then just, you know, have my own style and just be me. You know what I'm saying? Like they're very supportive, and I know all of them personally, you know, and they have awesome work, man. So if y'all are on Facebook, Instagram, you know, Sanaa Brown, check her out. Anita Mays with 88 Lines, paint parties. She had paint parties as well. Derek, they call him Kinfolk, D-Dub Kinfolk. So I think it's called Paint with Kinfolks. That's the name of his company. So he's out here in Arlington. So we're all out here in Dallas Fort Worth area. It's just all love, and it's, you know, it's no competitiveness, you know, between us all. But, you know, we all have the same self business, but we're all different. You know, it's like we don't have the exact same thing. So it's cool, man. It's cool that I have our own identity. You know, and so it's so many people out here in Dallas Fort Worth area, man. It's so much opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like some people who are like, you know, kind of have grab mentality. You know, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna try to tell this person the nuggets. You know, I'm not gonna give them everything because I don't want them trying to take my place. Like, no, it's like it's enough for everybody to eat.
Yeah, for everybody to eat. Yeah, that's right. Well, man, thank you for coming on, Steven. I appreciate it. Also, congratulations. You're engaged. So congratulations on that. Yeah, you kind of fading up a little bit.
The mic right now, I can hear you, but it's
okay. Yeah, I was just saying congratulations.
okay.
Nah, it's real choppy.
Yeah, I can't hear it right now. It's echoing
Okay.
and stuff, but I can't really hear it.
Okay. But I was just gonna say I appreciate you, man. You have a good night.
I can't hear it right now. I'm sorry.
All right.
And I'm trying to hear it, but I don't hear it coming through clear. It sounds level right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you later then. All right. Well, appreciate Steven for coming on tonight, man. Really dropping some nuggets as well, man. A lot of great guests tonight, man. A lot of great guests. Being able to conversate with them and hear what they do and hear how they're creative and how their creative juices flow. And man, it's really just been amazing. It's been amazing tonight. Thank you for all those tuning in. Outdoors with Chuck. Charles, thank you for coming on tonight. Also, H-Rap B, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Chef Rasheeda for coming on. Also, Amarrai Cabell, thank you for coming on. Appreciate each and every one of you guys that joined in the chat room, that conversated with us. Thank you. All the links of the people that came on the show tonight, you'll be able to see them. And we'll be back next week. Also, we'll be back on Monday. On Monday, like I said, we're doing a movie review. We'll be reviewing 40 Years a Prisoner, which was a suggestion by H-Rap. He is in the chat room right now. But we will be talking about that movie Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern. So make sure to tune in. And then we'll be back next week with the Super Bowl show. And hey, if you want to join the show, you can join the show with us next Saturday as well. I'm going to have a Bucks fan. I'm going to have a Chiefs fan. We may just have some other people in us, just barbershop style, kind of chopping it up about the Super Bowl. So thank you, everyone, for coming on. You can support the channel. You see the link down below with super chat or super stickers. Whatever amount that you would want to donate, you can help support. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, click that bell. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. God bless. God is love. Peace.